IVM.
All right, Simplified is where they take stories that you can't understand and make it even more difficult to understand. If you need that in your life, it's called marriage. Simplified, 3 young men with a mission. Their names, Chuck, Naren and Sriket. That's right, simplify their names first. Simplify. New episodes out on the IVM podcast website, app or wherever you get your podcast from. कृपया ध्यान दीजिए, the language used on the podcast may not be fit for consumption. We warn you, tread carefully. But listen, yaar, don't be so conservative. Okay, cock and bull time. And before I introduce our lovely guest, finally we have female company. God bless India. Before I say that, I can't take the mango thing anymore. Let me explain. Mangoes are driving me mad. Every day on WhatsApp in this fucking lane that I live in, there are people sending mango baskets saying, you want? $200 a dozen. Small, $400 a dozen. Medium, $600 a dozen. Large. I can't take it anymore. It's just swamped with mangoes. I counted yesterday, I had 11 mango options. What's going on? It's a lockdown and people are dying left, right and center. But for some people, it's all about mangoes and everybody's happy and it's selling this like, it's like I'm in a village fair. So please, no more mangoes for me. Luckily, it's June. The mangoes should end soon. But no more mangoes and no more fruit. I think I've eaten more fruit in these 3 months than I've in my entire life. I feel like I'm a sage from the Himalayas. You know, I've just come down from the Ganges and I'm coming into Mumbai proper and I'm now going to spread spirituality and eat fruit. Maybe sit on a papaya. That kind of thing. All right, it's called Cock and Bull.
Entertainment is like food for the brain. It's a window to culture and a great way to understand the world around us. The internet has changed what it means to be an entertainer, creating new storytellers with millions of fans. It has spawned a new breed, the story-sellers, those behind the scenes creating the business for this ecosystem. They work with brands, platforms and channels who are keen to capitalize on an audience hungrier than ever for more stories. I'm Vineet Kanabar, and I have a ringside view to how stories are told and sold. On my show, I bring you creators, artists, executives, and marketers for a freewheeling conversation around the business of entertainment. Tune in to Storytellers and Storysellers for personal stories, analysis, and criticism every Thursdays as I talk to the brightest minds telling or selling great stories today.
We are joined by the beautiful Kajol. Thank you so much for coming here, Kajol. Those lovely genetics, Bengali, Tambra mix. I mean, head to toe, everything's good. Of course, when it goes wrong is another story. I have a male friend like that, but he looks nothing like you. He looks like nothing like anybody. He just looks like a machine. All right. We have Amit, who seems to have just woken up and has that disgruntled look on his face. I've seen Amit Shah's interview with Rahul Joshi just yesterday on CNN, whatever we call it today, TV 18, News 18, 11, 18. I have no memory of the name anymore. He was looking very fresh, under all the pressure being Home Minister. But it looks like this Amit is affected more by the lockdown and the anxiety and the stress and the pain than that Amit. And Silvery, our leader actually, the youngest and the leaderist of the lot.
Hello.
So known as Silvery, resident comedian producer. All our producers, I mean, why all? I got a letter the other day from somewhere saying, why are all the producers comedians? As in,
that's a good question. Sorry, just before we start, I have a doubt that Kajol's voice is not working.
Oh, of course it's working.
It is. Okay. Now, I thought I saw you speak.
That's sexist. You didn't bother to check me. You didn't bother to check Silvery.
Because I heard you. I heard
again, the Amits have changed. The Amits have changed.
I heard you and Antariksh, but when you introduced Kajol, I felt like she was saying something, but I didn't hear anything, which is why I thought...
It's a normal condition of cock and bull. When I'm a cock and bull.
Walking on the front foot. Chris Shrikant style. Straight over, extra cover for 6, I say. That was for me, guys, so you don't have to bother.
Yes, I know. I heard your Monty Panesar episode. Oh my God, that was cricket. There was a lot of cricket.
It was great. I really enjoyed
fantastic.
It.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
I wish I could have been face to face because sometimes I couldn't pick up what he was saying here and there, but otherwise it was fabulous.
No, it was a great episode. It was a great episode, but wow, you guys were getting technical.
Yeah. So what you're saying is we shaved the audience. We went straight to the cricket-loving audience.
It was.
I have to tell you again now that you brought it up quickly before we start properly.
Right.
If you really like cricket, the left arm orthodox, like our show is called Left Arm Orthodox, is a very poetic sort of action. For cricket lovers to watch it goes back to Bishan Singh Bedi for my generation, and then all the way up Maninder Singh, and now Monty Panesar, who all three happen to be sick, but that's just a coincidence. But that left arm, there's something in it. It's the poetic part. It's like the left hand bat. The left hand bat's just more poetic to watch. So from a connoisseur point of view, it's just like how you prefer one whiskey to the other in days when you could afford all. Now,
that's
wo nahi milega, jo right. So let's officially kick off our cock and bull. And Kajol, please talk whenever you want to. Don't let me be a bit of a bully. I've got a terrible reputation. I want to change that in 2020, this coma state that we live in. So, anything you want to say, Kajol, about, because I haven't heard from you. How's it been for 11 weeks?
Not as bad as I thought it would be. Actually, gigs are still going on Zoom. My day job is still on. Thankfully, I didn't quit. So I'm surviving. I'm not too bad.
God, that's the most positive person I've heard in the lockdown. I want to remove you from our panel immediately. I got no gigs. Whatever gigs I have, mostly FOC. And it's amazing. The FOC gigs, the Cancer Society, with due respect, lovely people. The first time they tell you, will you do something? We're doing a big show on Sunday. We're taping this on the 5th. That's the 7th. Very politely said, can you do something for 5 minutes, whatever. Then the next email and WhatsApp is 32 lists of instructions, how the camera has to be held, what pixelation, what this, what that. It was all technical jargon, and I started having a heart attack immediately. So it's the old drug pusher style, where they give you the stuff free and then, suddenly they charge you. Some businessmen do a similar thing you're saying in our part of the world. I don't know. I didn't get into it. Silvery, my man.
Yeah.
Will you wake up? I'm the only one talking here. I'm going to just do this thing on my own. Yeah.
It's an extended rant. Let's just look at it that way.
It is.
Yes.
Actually, something similar happened to me where I had gotten a call for an audition during this lockdown. In the beginnings of this lockdown, I got a call for an audition, and they were like, the thing is, you'll have to shoot this at home by yourself. We'll give you a list of camera angles you'll need and master shots that you'll have to do and all that. And you'll have to make your brother act with you. I'm like, what? Make my brother also act with me now?
And what if after all that the brother gets the role?
Yeah, exactly. What if he's the next big star and I'm just sitting there like, damn it could have been me. I don't want that.
So suffice to say, you didn't do it?
I didn't do it. I just I didn't reply.
What attitude?
Yeah.
Oh, because you have no work. There's real attitude issues, man. If I was your manager, I'd be very upset.
Yeah.
What is the product? Do you remember?
It was I forgot. It was Godrej or something. Some. Yeah.
So can we start?
Yes, let's start. What
Shall we look at the Unlock 1.0?
Sure.
I just hate what America has done to India, really.
It's an Unlock 1.0 or Lockdown 5.0, depending on how you want to look at it, right?
5.0.
5.0. No, it's 5. I think it's
5.5. Okay.
Whatever.
Right.
Versioning.
It's very confusing, folks.
In my area, it doesn't feel very unlocked as of now.
Yeah.
I always read the guidelines, but nothing is opened down.
But Kajol, which area is this?
Kandivali East.
Okay, so let me tell you that cabs and we're recording this on the 5th of June. Cabs and rickshaws and all are supposed to ply today, huh? So you guys can actually go and meet each other. Silvery, you can come to work.
Yeah, Uber is back on.
Your car.
Yeah, so ride sharing on is back on, like Uber.
Okay, it's going to be that's good to hear. I mean, we do need to kind of get back to stuff, but it's a challenging question, right? I mean, how quickly do you start moving stuff back into work? How quickly do you start getting people going with stuff? What degree of people do you have coming to office? It's these are hard questions to answer in some ways. I mean, I've been grappling with this quite a bit, right? I mean, when do we start? When do we restart the studio? Yeah. Studio is a challenging environment anyway, so when do we restart all this stuff? And I don't really have good answers for this because without ample public transportation, right? I mean, we can't ask everybody to come to work in Uber. That's expensive, right? Yeah. So I can't do that.
Also, Amit, there's also a group of people who won't want to come to work, the very paranoid ones.
Oh, yeah, no,
you can't force them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There are going to be a bunch of people like that as well, and it's I don't blame people, right? I don't blame people if they don't want to come to office either right now in this, because it's not like this pandemic. We've called it a pandemic for a reason. It's not like it's over. It's still there. So
I think we're all going to get it one way or the other. I don't think masks and sanitizers are going to protect us forever.
No. I think we should all kiss each other and hug a lot and then get into that immunity phase. And that's the only way to go forward.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I'm thinking Captain America, you've got to be one of those juiced up soldiers who nothing can happen to you. And you're frozen in time for 40 years and you're fine. I think that's the way forward.
Yeah.
Fiction will save us.
That is true. Yeah, no, but we are. Kajal, you're absolutely right. I think that we're all going to, at some point, going to be exposed to this in some way, shape, or form. Now, how we all react to it, we'll have to see. Again, I think we've said this before, right? Flattening the curve was never about, eliminating the virus. Lockdown was never about eliminating the virus. It was about increasing capacity. And if we haven't increased the capacity in the last 2.5 months to the point where we can deal with this, oh boy, we got some problems.
We and America are the two countries struggling. Yes, Silvery, sorry.
Did you guys hear about New York? The largest outbreak is happening in New York. Yesterday was the first day where they did not see a single new case, which is pretty crazy for New York.
That's pretty good. That's 3 months in, yeah.
So that should be a sign that things will, but like Amit says, I think this is all here and there. There may be second surges. There may be, a few people with the virus, so it can start at any time. Yeah. So we have to just go forward and maintain the fact that we'll get it and we'll deal with it. It's a flu at the end of the day. If you're relatively healthy, hopefully 3-4 days, because there's no real cure. You just have to be strong enough, take vitamin C, vitamin D, and I recommend Kailash Jeevan. Pesh karte hai, Kailash Jeevan. My mother says you can apply it anywhere. See, anyway, I tried anywhere because I got, from herpes to hemorrhoids, all the H's are mine. And may I say, it's been very good. You see, it's nearly empty. I use it on and on me, sometimes at the same time. Guys, Kailash Jeevan, if you want to sponsor our show, right place, right time. Who owns Kailash Jeevan? Let me find out.
With so many protests in America, how are they not seeing such a huge jump in cases?
Well, I think that they probably will, but I think it will start happening in the next few days, right? Because protests have been going on for a week, and this thing does have an incubation period of 4 to 15 days, which is why they say that you self-quarantine for that amount of time. But I think there's no doubt that we're going to start seeing, because again, in the US, you definitely have seen a lot of people doing a lot, out and about without any kind of social distancing, right? In many circumstances. There was something that happened in Kansas City where there were these outdoor parties, and this one guy had it, and they then had to they set a press release out that this guy was at this bar from this time to this time, and then from this time to this time he was at this bar, and then from this time to this time he was at this bar. So if you were at those bars, please be careful. That's nuts.
Yeah, but there's also a theory that the American immunity, by and large, genetically speaking, is not as good as the Asian, especially South Asian immunity. So in a sense that if you go into the society and restart again, we will have a better running chance. This is not saying much, this is speculation. A better running chance than, say, I don't want to use racist terms, but Western civilization generally. Their stomachs aren't as strong as ours, and they're not exposed to the kind of disease we have growing up.
So I've heard
this generation.
I've heard that as well, right? That basically the virus we're facing right now is coronavirus 19, right? It's COVID-19. Yeah. But in India, we have been exposed to coronaviruses before. And so we might have a slightly higher immunity because of our exposure to other, not the same coronavirus, but to other coronaviruses. We might have a better immune response. But again, this is speculation. Nobody knows that this is 100% true for sure.
I'll explain it to Kajal separately. Kajal, what he's saying here is if you're in love with, say, 5 different sisters, each relationship is slightly different. So from one sister, you get love. From the other, you get the clap. From the third, you get a divorce. It's like that. Everything is a little different. So we can't totally generalize, but maybe this is just feel-good, positive thinking. But I just think that we have a chance being dirty Indians. That dirtiness is coming to help us. And when I say dirty Indians, I mean myself. I can't speak Silvery. Looks very groomed. How much time do you spend on that beard, boy?
I've just let it go, man. It's just growing out like this.
You're a liar. You definitely combed it. I can see it on this terrible screen.
Oh, yeah. I've brushed it. Because just to keep it a little neat as there's
a... John Abraham from Balkeshwar. That's unkempt. You're not unkempt. You're a vain man who's gone and done the damn thing properly and covered. Ask Kajal to judge. She'll know better than us.
No, I have a question. You can brush beards.
I mean, you can just...
What? Kajal! Wait till you're 60. Wait till you're 60, the karma will come to haunt you. Look at my wife.
I had no idea that you could brush beards, okay? what's the procedure? Like normal hairbrush?
Just like I'm lazy, So while brushing my hair, I also just brush my
hello.
beard.
There are proper beard combs.
Yeah. But I have my hairbrush. I just use the hairbrush.
That's because you're cheap and we're in lockdown. Yeah, but if you were, one of those guys with like Saris Thaukar has it. I know when he had a beard for a little while. You get a beard comb because the beard quality hair is a little different from quality hair here.
Yeah, correct.
I have one somewhere. I'd have to go look for it, but I do have.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, when you grow a beard long, what happens is it starts getting tangled up, right? Just like your hair. Yeah, so you want to kind of smoothen it out. I mean, wow, what are we discussing?
Okay, this is so cool.
But let's finish it. Virat Kohli and KL Rahul, if you look at them, the lower part of the beard is very manicured properly. Yeah. I think 3-4 people work on it before they come out to bat. The guys, the extras who didn't make the 11 are like, sir. They do it properly, then they come out. It's a triangle. Yeah.
Do you all have beard shampoo and beard?
There is.
Yeah, beard oils, beard shampoos, all that.
Beards have a terrible problem with dandruff. Like people who grow beards for extensive periods of time, dandruff becomes a really big problem for beards.
Plus food. I have friends who have food from last year in their beard.
That is also true.
You got to be careful. You got to be careful of these things.
I mean, eating ice creams with a beard is such a pain because everything just is around the beard.
But you get used to the taste of hair. So when you're with your long-haired girlfriend again, that's a nice touch. You're used to hair in the mouth. Now let's leave the discussion right there. It's going to just decline from this hair in the mouth to I don't know what. This is the point where we save it and go back to COVID-19. But I'm feeling a little happier. I hope it's not a fake happiness. I guess when you're in a concentration camp and you're in Auschwitz and then suddenly you hear that the Russians are coming or the Brits are coming or whatever, and even if it's fake news, you feel a little uplifted.
No, but I think that's the perfect analogy, right? It's like we're in the camp and we're hearing the rumor that the Brits are coming. The Brits aren't here yet. No. We're not out of the camp yet, but we've heard the rumor that they're coming. I think that's the perfect analogy.
Yeah, and we've been hearing all these multiple invasion strategies, like Spanish are also invading, that's the locusts, the French are also invading, we are getting cyclones also.
So the Chinese are invading, but the Pakistanis have taken a break, huh?
Yeah, that's true.
We've done bye-bye-giri with them at last, finally. Solved that problem. Yeah, but the thing is that we've had negative news. I don't know if you guys watch TV news, you just get your news on the digital formats. But TV news has particularly been very aggressive with the doom prediction. So I, after some time, just didn't want to, because I don't want to watch it. It's just written there. Mega city, mega this. I mean, we discussed it before. Now they've gone, Delhi's overtaken Mumbai. It's almost like there's glee. I want to tell you something. We had a cyclone. Yeah, there is. We had this cyclone for 48 hours, this whole thing going on. All the channels were upset that not enough destruction happened. That Mumbai only lost trees. I actually heard people saying things like, from Delhi going, Koi mara nahi? In that tone. You don't say Koi mara nahi in that tone. Because if you say in that tone, it's like, oh shit, Virat, zero. It's that tone. Yeah. You're disappointed. You cannot be disappointed. You have to say, Koi nahi mara. Oh, Jai Hind, thank God. That's what they should have said. Nobody said
But also, I think the part of it was because they scared us so much, they needed, because otherwise everyone would just be like, yaar, it's one more thing that these guys are just wrong about. So what's the point of anything?
See, I was speaking to the ladies in, we shoot once a week in CNBC, and they were saying they're also bored of COVID also. You please understand, every day that's all they're reporting. It was a little bit of excitement just to talk about the cyclone. There's a whole different world and different people, the meteorologists, geologists, etc., to talk to. So they just got that breath of fresh air. This is terrible to say. Actually, this is like a black comedy that you go from COVID to a cyclone and say, hey man, this is a little better for me today. But that's
then they went to meteorites. They all got very excited about that one meteorite coming our way, which of course was going to avoid us for a huge mark. And then Hindustan Times, when they report the next day that 5 more are coming. Okay? But none of them are coming closer than 2.5 million miles.
Okay.
Well, let's hope they don't come during Diwali, because that's confusing. And we've also got the other thing. Have you heard the rumor about Delhi? That an earthquake is about to happen in Delhi. That's the next big one.
An earthquake happened in Delhi a while ago, didn't it?
Yeah, but now they're expecting a big...
Okay.
Okay, the odd even policy having failed. Well...
No, but it does. There's an earthquake in Delhi every week.
Really? Is it... what about Gurgaon?
All of inside.
The biggest problem they're having right now, when you think about it, again, a little silly, is that you can't open Delhi and not open the 3 other borders, cities, if you want to call them, because they're satellites. It's like Mumbai, Thane, Navi Mumbai. You just, you can't. It'll be impossible to stop people at Bandra. I mean, I would love to, but you can't stop people at Bandra and say, Bandra to Colaba, that's Mumbai, and shut shop. So unfortunately for him, the border is going to be a real problem.
But they did try that, didn't they? I thought that there was an attempt to shut Noida down, Gurgaon down.
Of the middle class population, about 30% live outside Delhi and work in Delhi, or vice versa, work in Noida and live in Delhi, or work in Gurgaon and live in Noida. So they all do. Rajdeep, for example, who started our show on TV, he has a palace made with all the money from CNBC in Panchil Park, a huge bungalow as big as the Prime Minister's. With the Congress flag, apparently. And he goes all the way to Noida, which is now another state. It's UP, technically.
Right.
So, I mean, that's the way they function. So, you can't isolate Delhi. I don't know.
No, you can't. It's really hard to do. But I thought that there was something that happened along those lines, right? Where they had made it tough for a while to go from Delhi to Noida and from Gurgaon to Noida and all of that. I think it was UP. I think UP was at the center of it, right? They were the ones that were not letting things move out. I could be wrong about that. But I think that there was something. I remember hearing about that like just a couple of weeks ago.
I just think that we are so ill-prepared for this damn calamity that every time we try to solve a problem, the mini problems outright, you get the main problem basically, but the mini problems take over, and then there are so many of them, they just spiral and you can't control the situation because the mini problems are the ones that we aren't dealing with properly. Even if we've got testing kits, even if we've got, enough beds, even if we've got whatever, there's the other problem. Are we touching each other? Are there too many people in small places, AC places, whatever, where again the surge can happen? There's no hope here. Frankly speaking, I've given up. I'm ready.
You're ready for it?
I'm ready. So I'm reading this right now. They're saying that earthquake tremors felt in Delhi NCR, 3 quakes in the last 5 days. And also they've seen 11 quakes in the past month, which indicates, they say, a major earthquake may be hitting Delhi in the very near future.
That's what. Awesome. So it's a great time to buy land in Delhi because price will come down quickly. And then sit in Mumbai, let the earthquake pass, and then it'll go up again.
Did you see the Piyush Goyal video which was going around?
No.
So basically, he basically just told all the builders that, guys, sell your shit. Government's not going to help you. You need to generate cash, right? Because all the builders bring down the pricing. Yeah.
Like what kind of a fall?
I don't know. I mean, the video it wasn't that. It was more about he was talking to them about how you're not going to get much support from the government around this stuff. I've been very clear about this from day one. That you guys are going to need to start clearing inventory. I mean, same stuff is coming from all over the place, right? I mean, we saw Uday Kotak made the same kind of statement. I mean, most people in the financial space do understand that this is necessary to happen, but it is if it does start happening, it would lead to a massive correction in property prices, which would be good, I think. Actually, our property stuff is too outlandish. Nobody is interested in this whatsoever.
No, we are. I'm just feeling devalued because I have 2-3 properties, and if you say that my 1 crore becomes 25 lakhs, and that's not fair.
Well, that is
true. Call Piyush and tell him to talk to me. I have to deal with this offline.
Contradiction. I should address the poor people's problems here. Since
there are no poor people, guys. You look at you. You don't look poor.
We're the only 2 people on the podcast who probably would be holding on to a job and trying to afford a house. And I know tons of people who've been fired, man. So even if the prices fall, who can afford it?
No, but let me pour some cold water on that enthusiasm. The prices that will fall in the purchase market. They won't fall in the rental market because Indian rentals are already historically low in terms of a percentage of what kind of yield they give from the overall property prices, right? So if you look at most international markets, right now, if you look at what you could get for a 50,000 rupee a month flat in Bombay, right? What would be the cost of that? The cost of that flat would be about 5 to 6 crore rupees. That's about a 1% yield. Internationally, in most places, you would look at a 4 to 5% yield. So rent compared to property price in India is already extraordinarily low. So what needs to fall and what is going to probably fall will be the value of the property. Yes.
Piyush Goyal got very bored and put the phone down. Huh?
I'm sure everybody is very bored. I'm sure everybody is very bored. I find this extraordinarily fascinating, right?
Because I also do, but she's devalued herself now. Thinking, oh God, I not only do not have property, my rent sucks.
Yeah.
I paid more rent.
No, but we have a terribly broken housing market. There's just no getting around that, right? I mean, it's just, and one thing that you can hope for that Corona will kind of do is kind of emphasize the importance of making housing more accessible and making housing more widespread, right? I think that we have an undersupply of housing because of building cartels that exist. That needs to change. And a big part of the problem we're having, if you look at the Maharashtra containment zones, right? Or if you look at the Mumbai containment zones on any of these maps, everything is either slums or those kinds of
the
things.
Blocks,
right?
the blocks. You can call them the blocks.
Yeah, the big blocks are all slum areas. So, Cyrus, I was looking at this thing from if we there's a website which kind of outlines all of the containment zones, and you can ask for it to give you a route to go from one place to another, and it'll figure out the safest route for you to go to do it, right?
Wow.
And I'm looking at all of our stuff, right? All the places that, at least you, me, and Antariksha are living in. Kandivali East is actually not such a great hot. It's not such a.
It is.
Oh?
My area is surrounded with containment zones.
So that's what I'm saying. Kandivali East is actually a space which has a lot of kind of this. But all three of our areas, if you so basically going from home to office, all we have is small dots. We don't have any big containment areas.
Yeah.
They're all single buildings, right? Except for the slum at Worli, right at Worli Seaface. Except for that one slum, everything from town all the way going up to Santa Cruz, going into Powai, it's all dots. It's when you go into the eastern side of the city, when you go into Dharavi, when you go into places where there are bigger slum areas, that you see these larger containment zones.
So I think the point we were making here is that rent in Dharavi will be very cheap right now. And it's a good time to basically take a house there if you're struggling. Kajol, any comedians who don't have work and are struggling with paying rent, this is something you can give them. And then, of course, if they get COVID, you can say it was just a joke. Glad you enjoyed that one. I'll be back for more. Guys, should we take a break? It's been like 40 minutes of chatting nearly.
It's been 25, but yes, let's take a break.
I think we should. Sometimes 25 can be like...
I made 25 sound like 40.
You did.
Little discourse on the real estate market.
While you were doing your discourse, Amit, Kajol finished a whole drink, which he made in 5 minutes. I think he trimmed his beard, silvery, and I was playing with, like an infant with things that, how people who can't sit still, we're really sick. We'll take a break, then we'll come back. I shouldn't say we're really sick, that's insensitive, because there are people who are really sick. When we come back, we'll talk to them.
Janice, what do you think couples did before TV was invented?
I don't know, go for walks on the beach, long drives, fancy dinners, have more sex maybe?
But what did we do when we decided to move in together? We debated between the Chromecast and the Fire Stick.
We gave up on sleeping early so we could stay up watching true crime shows.
We got ourselves 3 cat babies.
And basically became the cutest couch potatoes around.
Okay then.
In case you guys still haven't got it, we are a TV crazy, Netflix loving, binge watching Mr. and Mrs.
I'm Anirudh Guha.
I'm Janice Sequeira.
And if like us you snort TV for breakfast, lunch and dinner, this is the podcast for you.
Tune in every Thursday on the IVM podcast app or wherever it is that you get your podcast from. This is
Mr.
and Mrs.
Binge Watch.
We're back. There's nobody here who's really sick, so I lied. There's no one to talk to. There's no point. Do you think we could have got the COVID? Now, this is another story that's been coming out, that you sort of get it and you don't kind of know for sure. You feel under the weather, you get maybe a little cold cough, maybe a little fever, and in 2-3 days it sort of goes. A lot of people have experienced that and have told me, I think I got COVID. Or maybe not. So you think that's a possibility?
80% asymptomatic. Sorry, Kajol.
I go down every alternate day to get groceries.
Yeah.
Yes, I go down I do go down.
Stop it, Kajol. I'm 48 years old with organ issues. Stop it. Don't tease me.
Exactly. And
Sorry, honey. And my wife's here. Sorry.
And then every time you cough a bit or you sneeze a bit, you always just get paranoid. Like, oh my God, I got COVID. I'm done.
I'm not paranoid. It's just that I don't understand how I could go down every alternate day for 2 months with a flimsy mask and not get it.
Not get it. Yeah. Correct.
Yeah, these masks, except for that NH95 highway mask or whatever, most of them are a little flimsy. I wear a handkerchief for what it's worth. And, I'm just thinking, are they really that good?
So
it's a virus. It can find its way in.
No, it can't. It can find its way in. If somebody's, so the mask is for other people's protection, not yours. That's what it is, right? It's basically if you have a mask and you have COVID, if you cough into the mask, it will block most of the virus that's going out. If somebody
you'll kill yourself more.
If somebody without a mask coughs on you when you're wearing that mask, that's not going to have that much of an effect. Okay.
Right.
So the mask is more about it's a communal thing. If everybody wears a mask, the chances of it spreading is much lower.
Amit, what happens to smokers? Like my good pal Kunal Vijayekar, when he was doing 40 to 50 a day,
right?
His cough was perennial. He would be like, Kunal, can you just pass me the salt? Sure. I mean, he wouldn't stop. And there are smokers out there still.
There are.
But they are there.
But if you're a smoker and you have COVID, you'll pass it on. If you're a smoker and you're just coughing, you won't pass anything on, right?
But we don't know. No, that's exactly Silvery's point. You cough, you sneeze in a public place, or rather on the road or whatever, and everybody stops.
Yeah.
It's just hilarious, actually.
It is. I had this happen like just last week. Like an Amazon guy came and he delivered. He wanted a return. Otherwise, the delivery happens and they leave it downstairs, right? But this was a return. We had to return something which came broken. He came and I went down to give it to him and he coughed once and I stepped back 3 steps. Like just immediately. I was like, I'm going to step. It was one cough. It wasn't like, crazy or anything like that. But it was one cough and I'm just like 3 steps back. Just
in a sense, he conveyed "fuck off" with his cough.
Yes, he did.
Because you just immediately.
It's like,
and therein lies the comic trail of rubbish.
Or even our building security. They conduct a thermal gun check the moment you step outside.
Oh, is it?
You're not going to get fever the moment you step outside and step back in.
Yeah. It's pointless for residents.
I also, that thermal gun, I come off the AC car on Thursdays, the one day we go to CNBC and shoot. I'm in an AC car for about 15 minutes and I sit in front with it on full. Okay, because I'm me. Right. And when I come out, my forehead is cold. So it's always way below normal. So that guy gets very confused. He's like 93 point something, but it's rubbish. Yeah. Because it's just completely the icy part of your forehead immediately coming out of the car. It's just a pointless exercise. And it can go the other way also. You can heat up the area and then, be more hot than your actual body temperature is. So I don't know, but I suppose you have to do something.
Yeah, see, I mean, like, there's a saying in software development, right? I mean, like, and I'm going, again, I hope I don't bore people with software development now.
1 second. I think Kajal's run out of drinks.
But I'm a software engineer, Cyrus.
There you go. So then Kajal, I'm sure you've heard this many, many times. Yeah. Perfect is the enemy of good. Right. I mean, like, that's something that happens in all of this stuff, right? You can't, there's no perfect solution around this, but doing thermal checks of most people who come in, most people are not sitting in an AC for 20 minutes right before they go and get their thermal check done. Right. So doing it like that, I mean, like wearing a mask, these are not perfect solutions, but they're better than nothing.
I have a point to add there. My neighbor holds a cold bag of milk to his head before he enters the society.
That is very true.
Why?
To avoid the thermal gun. Just
to lower his temperature.
Yeah, that's not cool though, right? I mean, like that's
cheating.
Cheating, yeah, exactly.
Cheating in COVID. I mean, only Indians. I don't think anywhere in the world can you give me this example. This is hilarious. Please keep this for your stand-up. This is ridiculous. Why would he cheat? I want to fool the watchman. मेरे actual दुकान 104 है. Oh, that's hilarious.
They tried to block the sales of paracetamol because they didn't want Indians popping it. When flights were landing, people are popping paracetamol just to free air.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that.
Great idea. Cheating again. So it's all subcontinent. I love it. This is what I'm proud of. When they say, are you proud to be Indian? This is what makes me proud. The stupid guys from the Western civilization I spoke of never think of these things. They just go there. Oh, I've got COVID. Bye, mom. Bye, dad. I'll stay 15 days in the farm. House. And we're walking dead all over. It's going to be a zombie world soon. Kajal, please say this for your stand-up. It's hilarious. So you must remember it. Write it down. And this uncle, you must do the whole act of what he does and how he's actually had fever throughout for 3 months.
My neighbors, they've been fighting since the beginning of Corona. And every night the wife throws him out of the house. And
Is he drunk?
He can't go anywhere. So he just stands in the landing for 10 minutes.
Your building is fabulous. You don't need Netflix. I mean, the milk guy downstairs and the guy getting thrown out of his marriage every day. I mean, this is beautiful. Live action, actually. Yeah. How does it end then? Does she take him back in or do you take him back in?
It ends with my mother opening the door and then she comes to me and says, I think Mr. Shah has, it's weird. I always see him outside. I say, how's your wife? He says, she's resting. I think she has corona.
So we've got details, guys. You can now Google Mr. Shah. Get the building name, Kajal's building name.
I took the wrong name, Cyrus. I'm not stupid.
Although Kandivali has lots of Shahs, so we'll have to, it'll take some time.
I took the wrong name.
You're smart enough. You know a petty man is on this podcast, as petty as you can get. Small in all ways, this one gentleman. Guys, let's get back to the Silvery.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of COVID story. So now we didn't even mention it. So now going forward, let's get some clarity because there are people, we have a lot of listeners. Well, we do have a lot of listeners now out of sheer boredom, who actually will listen to the podcast and sort of take what we say as gospel in terms of going forward. So vaguely for Mumbai, firstly, rickshaws and taxis. This is for sure, right?
Yeah. So that's what, that's rickshaws and taxis in Bombay. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Second, 10% staff and the entrepreneur, Amit, for example, with 10% staff can sort of restart on a daily basis or alternate basis? What is it?
So it's supposed to be every other day, but I'll be honest, I don't think that we're going to start till the 15th of June. I think that we're going to take next week off as well to just kind of evaluate and also figure out how we're going to sanitize the studio on a regular basis. So I think
you will visit and start cleaning it up.
I will visit. But 15th of June, I think, is when I want to kind of start some semblance of reactivation. But again, that doesn't mean Antariksh has to come to work every day. That means Antariksh has to come to work once in a while.
Oh, no, we can, do everything in one day or something. But we'll tell everybody when we're recording with the studio. Probably the audio will be better, right?
It will be better. That's why we're doing it. Why else would I do it? I mean, like we're being able to do a show right now.
You've done all kinds of apps and paps, so I have no idea how good or bad it is.
No, so the audio is good. I mean, like now that we figured out the recording piece where we're doing some of this stuff, the audio is coming out decent at this point in time, much better than when we started the situation, right? Yeah. But nonetheless, having said that, studio is studio, right? I mean, like studio quality is studio quality. But again, I don't think that we want to do something where we get a lot of guests into the studio, right? So it'll be like you'll be there, maybe I'll be there. What we'll make we'll make Antariksh sit outside of the studio unless he's participating in the show, right? And then we can do a Zoom login so that he can see what's going on inside. We'll figure some of these. See, these are the things I need to figure out.
Just pretend to do that and actually just keep everybody in the studio and do it normally.
And then what do I do?
I can understand this 50% restaurant crap, honestly. I mean, you're telling me this virus is really lazy. मैं तो 3-4 feet जाता है, उसके बाद थक जाता है.
No, but that's the way it is, right? It actually
dies
is that.
In 4 feet.
It falls to the ground. It won't go to your face, right? It falls to the ground in that much time. So basically, how does the virus come out? It comes out of your throat. It comes out of your nose, right? Now it depends on what you're doing, and there are different things around that, right? Oh. But if you're just in your standard walking, or if you're standard kind of breathing, or coughing, or sneezing. So when you, through a normal breath, it goes maybe 1 or 2 feet. For a cough, it goes 4 or 5 feet. For a sneeze, it can go a lot further depending on what's called an explosive sneeze. An explosive sneeze can go up to 20 feet, but normally it goes 6 or 7 feet.
Achoo! Is that would be it.
I think it needs to be bigger than that.
And there's also the gay sneeze, and I'm got nothing against homosexual men. I'm probably gay myself, which is the hachoo, which is probably the way to go forward. Sorry, Amit, I interrupted, but back to the lecture.
Yeah, and I'm just going to let that sit. Then there's around jogging and singing also, apparently those are elevated. They increase the spray.
But so again, Qawwali, yes, increase. But certain singing, with Simon and Garf, especially Garfunkel, the mouth hardly opens.
Right, I guess Garfunkel maybe not.
And what a time it was.
Right, so maybe not that. Yeah, so Garfunkel maybe not, but like if you're singing in like a large choir or something like that, it goes deeper. So it makes sense for restaurants. Also, dude, restaurants you gotta let them open, man. I was talking to a really close friend of mine. A really close friend of mine, he was telling me about what he's going through right now, and he is so badly fucked. It's not even funny, right? I mean, like, he's going to have to shut down half of his spaces.
And he's a seasoned guy. Amit, he's a seasoned guy. Think of the smaller ones in their first 2 years of the business or something.
Yeah, he's been doing this for 20 years, right? Yeah. But he's going to have to shut down half of his spaces. He's going to have to, he's in debt to a ridiculous, unimaginable degree.
50% capacity, even if it does run, what kind of business model is that? But they need their Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they need their full house. They can't run on.
But Faris, at least it's something, right? I mean, like, at least he can service some debt.
He can maybe a month or two, but it can't go on like this. It has to just be for a month or two.
It does, but at least he can start paying his rent.
Yeah, true. And I can eat.
Yeah, exactly. At least some stuff can happen.
I'm going to eat. The moment you open, I'm going to eat.
If they're opening religious spaces by June 8th, then I think they can open everything.
Yeah.
Well, they said malls, you can't share the mat, and for this thing, you can't share the prasad, and churches, you can't have the, what's the water called?
Yeah, but that's what they proxy.
Holy water.
So, see, I think it's all, as we say, muboli. I don't get it. I don't see how it's really going to make a difference. But
yeah. Again, they're saying malls will also,
Yeah, malls, so they're saying no cinemas and they'll do everything else. But mostly everything else they will open. Yeah. And then on a Saturday, what happens? You restrict the number of people on a big public holiday, on a Diwali shopping week, the Sera week.
Yeah.
So will they be able to control people?
I don't think so. I mean,
I don't think so, man.
I don't think so. I mean, like, all I'm praying for is that we really have increased capacity to the point we have, but we clearly haven't.
Amit, for 1 month, we all follow the rules, all right? Like we did in March. March and now, in my lane, is very different. March, everyone is very paranoid. Now, most of us are hardly wearing the mask. I only wear it when I turn the lane, honestly.
Yeah.
It's like that. So that's what's going to happen. It's just human nature, I feel,
We've been having a big discussion on our society WhatsApp group, right, about who are we going to allow into the buildings anymore, right? Are we going to start allowing part-time maids back?
Oh, sorry. I was on the track.
Are we going to start allowing part-time maids? Are we going to start allowing part-time servants? Are we going to allow
pretty
cooks?
Part-time maids?
Are we going to allow drivers?
Pretty drivers? My wife is saying, shut up. Only hear me talking. And she knows this is a waste of time dialogue.
But no, how are we going to, are we going to allow drivers in the building? Are we going to allow guests? Are we going to allow relatives to come and stay with people? All of this stuff. And it's contentious. There is a lot of contention because some people are paranoid and some people are just like, you know what? I'm done with this. We're going to do what we have to live our lives.
Because people's philosophies are just different. It's very hard.
Yep.
But hello. Sorry to interrupt, but I have to pay my staff, for example, drivers and things like that. And I have been paying them. So I want them to come to work.
Yeah.
Because I just think it's unhealthy after a point, And I think they're bored, frankly.
Listen, we need to go back to life. I'm in agreement.
Would you call Suresh?
Will I call Suresh?
Quickly, Suresh is the peon in the office.
The peon in the office. We're going to need to, we have to sanitize the studio on a regular basis. So we're going to need support staff.
That's what I'm saying. When I come to your studio, and I'm sure this is playing out all over offices in India where we have this demarcation in society. Suresh is the most important guy.
Yeah.
He gets me my lassi, he organizes things, he puts everything on because, I'm always early.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying that you can't not have all those guys because actually the office runs on them a lot.
No, you need them. You can't function without them. Honestly, I can't function if I don't have our support staff, right? Because otherwise we're better off doing it like this. Very honestly, if we don't have the support staff, because it's unsafe to not sanitize after using it. And again, think about how we're using a podcast studio. We're talking into mics, we're talking loudly, right? We're projecting our voices. So that means that there is additional spread. So the surfaces need to be sanitized after that. After each recording, I've been talking to Kavita about how we're going to do this. And we're like, okay, we'll lock down to 5 recordings a day. We'll do it every other day. Each recording will happen each recording will get like a 2-hour slot. Recording will happen over an hour and a half max. And the other half an hour we'll spend on sanitizing the studio again so that the next person can come into a safe environment. And we're thinking about all this stuff, but this shit's hard to do.
Or you can do cock and bull, just 3 people and keep one person on Zoom.
Right.
For what it's worth. Something like we have to be innovative. But I'm seeing see if we start somewhere in June or July.
Yeah.
Look at September. It's not fully gone. It's less. It's around us. But we'll slowly, we'll break that mold slowly. And, it'll just, that's all I'm saying. Hence, I'm saying I don't see the point of it. Because we will break all the rules at some point. It's just the way we are.
No, but I don't think...
Except for Japan.
But Cyrus, I don't know that we will start breaking these rules, right? I think some of these behaviors are going to be ingrained because there is fear. Listen, this is a deadly disease, right? All said and done, this is
a flu.
No, dude, it's a flu, but it's a severe flu. We shouldn't minimize the danger with this particular thing. But at the same time, we can't cower at home and not live our lives.
My biggest worry is that what it is today, if it's at 75% of being, processes being and protocol being followed, it will become 50% by August, September, and by December or whatever, with the disease still there somewhere in the background and some pockets being bad, it will be 10%. And I think I'll be the first to do that because I just can't be bothered after some time. It just irritates me.
Well, there are things which I think will be this, which will change permanently. I think we're all going to start using in professional spaces sanitizer to a great degree, which we were not using before.
What about coitus? I'm going to address the elephant in the room, Silvery. What's going to happen to coitus? Just forget coitus, just hugging your loved one and all that. Just a little bit of foreplay, which men never sort of got right. Is that good for us now? Because foreplay cancelled?
I think it's fine because I think the people...
Let her answer that, boy.
Yeah. The people I have sex with, already I'm not sure if they are clean or not. So it's all good.
I hope you do what I do. The people that you have coitus with never have coitus with you again. So you're off the hook, in a sense. It's a dialogue that's going on. It's just come on. It's getting really angry. No references in these thoughts. Kajol, you've got a feminist in my wife, or hardcore. The meetings I have got, you have no idea. Okay, it's just a podcast. For those listening, my wife is shouting at the back, and this is normal marriage in India. Nothing special. By the way, it was Aisha's birthday on the 3rd, huh?
Oh, so that should be our birthday wish this week.
Yes.
Happy birthday to Aisha.
Happy birthday, Aisha, from everybody. Silvery, Amit, and Kajol. She said, I want a present or my absence, whichever one.
We'll try and organize your absence in the next couple of days.
Cheaper. Yeah. So we were joking about birthdays quickly before we go to AMAs and all that. But we back in the day, we started with the whole March, April thing about birthday wishing and birthday. And, you had the Zoom wedding and all that we showed. Yeah. But again, birthday parties, there are enough of us who are very gregarious, right? Very social, especially at Silvery's and Kajol's age group, where friends are everything. I presume when you come to my age, it's not so big. So then what happens? Because, you want to have that gene is there in you to socialize, to be around a lot of people, the more the merrier. There's plenty of us who like that entire herd thing. So how are we going to celebrate? And, who's going to decide that?
My birthday is coming up on the 12th.
Your birthday is coming up on the 12th.
So next Friday, that is, yeah.
So supposing we're allowed a little bit of movement, I think Kunal will come home now and things like that. So, Silvery, will people come to your house?
I'll be going out of my house. I don't want to be at home for my birthday.
If the bars aren't open?
I will go to a friend's place. So somebody at a friend's place.
Where you're allowed to go. That person's house is cool.
Basically. Yeah.
Or maybe a bungalow or something.
Basically, so movement is allowed freely around now, right? Or it will be allowed soon.
They're saying you have to self-regulate a little bit. So,
I mean...
And the same 10% capacity. I know. That's what I'm saying. I feel bad. So, you've got to feel good about yourself once a year. What the hell's wrong with that? And what the hell's wrong with having a few well-wishers around you and some booze in the old gullet? So, I'm feeling really sad about that. Really, because on one hand, I really want people to celebrate because I think life really sucks out if you don't celebrate a few moments.
Right.
Like a Cadbury ad or a Will's ad. But Kajal, what will you do, for example?
My birthday went in March.
No, but when your best friend's birthday or whoever...
Okay, I don't like people too much. Like I like them as a concept.
You're Bill Burr. Okay.
I don't go to parties. So I'm fine. In fact, this quarantine is just an extension of my everyday life, actually.
So you agree with Bill Burr when he says women shouldn't be paid as much as men?
No, I don't agree with Bill Burr when he says
But he gave the example of how the plumber comes to the house to fix the sink, and then Mrs. Plumber comes with him, and would you be interested in having her attend to the sink or him? I think it's a very valid point.
That was his Michelle Obama bit, right?
That's beautiful. Don't let her ever see it because Kajal will strangle me and take a plane to Massachusetts where he's from. Bill Burr. Yeah, so I don't know what to do about these birthday things. I think this is all organic and it will just happen and we'll just see. There'll be those. Look at Delhi, for example. Delhi's a, party culture which is very private. The farmhouses and the weddings. As you go into October, oh my God, I can't believe. Once they release themselves, they're going to release themselves. If you've been to those weddings and parties, Silvery is a Punjabi, there's no half measures. Am I right? It's not going to happen. Are you really? I can't believe Ahuja marries Kapoor. No way. It's going to go berserk. Daler Mehndi will be on the floor.
So people are going to go out and about, right? But I think that you got to hope that there is some degree of sanity that prevails, right? If you're sick, stay home.
Okay, when you consume alcohol in a bar, then what happens? As you get more gregarious and more, we don't even know how we break proximity rules normally, I'm saying.
No, so I think that is going to, I don't know, man. I think people are going to make their own choices, right? I think that you're going to have some people who are just going to go out and about and do whatever the hell they want. And there are some people who are going to be a little more cautious about this stuff, right? I see myself as being in the middle. I'll go to friends' houses. I'll do stuff like that. But I don't see myself going out partying or anything.
You don't see yourself in June, brother. In June. I'm saying just look ahead. You'll relax a little bit. Suddenly,
of course I will.
Other things will happen. And then I'm just saying but it's not gone. It doesn't look like it's going to go completely.
So, it's not like we're not going to have COVID dashboards in front of us, right? When we see the COVID dashboards freaking out, we'll freak out. When we see the COVID dashboards chilling out, we'll chill out. It'll be like how people in Delhi treat the air meters, right? They look at the
one word, air meter. It's one word.
Yeah. So it'll be like that, right? It's something that we'll look at every day. We'll see, oh my God, there was so much that happened in Bombay. And, if you see this massive increase one day, then you'll be like, oh God, it's time to be a little cautious. But then when you see that, it's chilled out a little bit, then you'll start going out a little bit, right? I assume we're going to start seeing stuff like that, right? We'll have green, yellow, and red signals and all that kind of shit.
God. Back to coitus. Who's going to decide that? What can we do and what can we not do? Because without touching, what kind of sexual activity can you actually have? That's my activity for the last 20 years, but I'm just speaking young people who have the option of each other. Really strange. She'll be like Silvery's girlfriend. Let's call her Priya. Priya will say, Silvery, now put your hand on. Now, Silvery, look at me as I take off my shirt. Now, Silvery, start moving up and down with your hand. Oh, is it up and down, Silvery? I can't even remember now.
Yeah, it is, but not with my hand. Sorry.
No sex for 1 year. Government ban. Government ban. Good for the country.
Let's go back to beard combs. Weird combs.
Beard combs or weird combs, whichever way you want to look at it. All right. AMAs with Silvery.
Hey everybody, welcome to another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. If you're not following us on social media, please do. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I'd like to thank our sponsors this week, Paytm Money. It really has been a great week this week. We've had two of our first international cricketers show up, people who have played for their respective sides. We had W.V. Raman come on Edges and Sledges, the cricket podcast. If you haven't heard that, you should be listening to that if you enjoy cricket. It's really one of the best out there. And you should also definitely check out Monty Panesar, who showed up on Cyrus Says. That was another really interesting conversation that occurred. If you haven't been listening to a few of our shorter shows, please do that as well. Ashish Vidyarthi has been doing a great job for us. We got 30 episodes now on Begin the Journey. I think you really enjoyed that show. If you haven't listened to it, it helps you with understanding what's going on in this tough time and how do you deal with it from a mental health perspective. We've also had some really fun stuff come up on the Smile India show. Shifa's been doing a lot of really good stories over there. Things would just make you happy, so definitely do check that out. And on the more serious side, make sure that you're checking out our regular shows like the Pragati Podcast, All Things Policy. They're definitely going to keep you up to date on what's going on in this COVID world. And with that, let's get you on with your show.
Follow me at Instagram and Twitter on Bored Brocha. I'm so bored, I need your help. I need your love. I need your touch. Okay, just follow me.
Okay, the first one comes in from Nilushansh shares this. He says, hello, science and friends. What do you think about the future of education? That is colleges and especially entrance exams for those colleges. Should the administration still charge full tuition fees for online classes? Sincerely, Nilushansh. What do you guys think?
That's two different questions, actually.
Yeah, it is.
One is about the practicality of whether you should be charged or not. The other is, look, Telangana started, as of now, exams, for example. So parts of the country Kerala, I think, they're all going ahead. They will go ahead. And some will have to hold back. This is now planning meticulous planning has to happen state by state and board by board, and they have to figure out something. About the fees, I'll go to Amit, because when it comes to money, he's the guy. I mean, what do you reckon is the right balance? You're still paying for the year, you're paying for everything, and there's no exam. Yeah. So in a sense, you're saying, why am I paying? And these are big fees, right? When you're looking at the bigger exams, the IIT, JEE, and these kind of things and all that.
He's basically asking this full tuition fees. Should we be charging full fees for a regular coach, like a attending college, basically?
Well, it's a really hard question to kind of think of, right? Because in some ways, if you're, let's say you're at a top level MBA college or something like that, you're still getting the benefit of the professors. You're still getting the benefit of all the learning. You're still getting that degree.
No, but they haven't given them a timeline saying, bro, this is what's going to happen. Of course, no professor says, bro, this is going to happen in India, but they do generally.
No, but I've got to assume that there is some sense of you're going to be doing online courses or something like that, right? It can. If you're not doing anything, no online, no offline, then what are you paying a fee for?
No, but if the exam doesn't happen on time, that's a little screw in the system. Because there's a backlog that happens after that. And then when you apply for a job, etc., depending on what the exam is.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a hard...
And there's no fair... Well, like I said, Telangana in the morning said they will have all their board exams, etc. But many states have not said a thing. And people are looking... And the general exams, what he's talking about, NEET and IIT and all these, those scare the people the most. Because they've really worked it. I mean, they set their entire store on that exam, right? Your parents sell everything and make sure you get there and whatever. Sometimes it's tough to get in. So after all that, it's like limbo. Limbo's terrible. It's better to fail and go to something else.
Man, I got no idea, right? This is a hard question. I haven't really even given this much thought, but
the other Amit won't handle this one well either. It's a toughie. It's a real toughie.
I don't know what you could do here, right? Because
government handouts.
Yeah, no. So I think government colleges first should definitely not charge, right? I think that's the first thing. But private college is a tougher thing to kind of do, right? Because a private college is in some way, it's an educational institution, but it is a private organization.
I just think that commerce is decided by service provided and the provider. Okay, correct. If the providing doesn't happen, then I don't think any bill should be charged. There is no bill. So if it's in limbo, I think it should be in limbo in terms of finance as well. Now we are paying people who work for us, etc., because of humane reasons. Right. But having said that, when there's a suspension, it should apply to all, frankly. If you want to be clinical about this. Yes, please, ma'am.
Okay, so sometimes they're offering the service, but the kid or the person at home can't access it. Like, not everyone has a broadband internet.
That's another problem.
My friend's kid and her husband are both at home, and he's an IT guy. She says, who do I give the laptop to? Like, she's got her classes at one time, he's got his work to do. So a lot of kids might have laptops and internet connections at home, but they have to compete with their parents for time, So I don't think the fees should be total if everyone can't access it.
But then at what point, so I mean, like, we're talking about like this academic year, right, where exams have not occurred.
Yeah.
Right. So now fees have already been paid. So a refund needs to be made. Is that what's the way forward on that? And what proportion of the fee should be refunded? Should it be refunded based on the amount of time that you were supposed to spend in class versus the amount of time that you did spend in class? Or should it be based on the fact that the exams didn't occur? Should that weigh into it? It's, I mean, like, I don't know the answer.
Yeah. Already also our teachers already earn so less. To cut it down further would be pretty bad.
Yeah, so then you come to the humane thing, but the humane thing is all very well, but it's a very tough thing to sort out formula-wise, because who's to say? It's all theory of relativity. I always feel I'm not getting enough money, and somebody will say that's rubbish, but that's not fair.
No, but
Kajal is laughing. Don't laugh, Kajal. Life can be hard. You're not married. You're not 48. You don't have organ failure and hair falling.
You're 100% right? I mean, like, a lot of these businesses that are out there, right, they don't have that degree of reserve where they can continue to pay people forever, right? I mean, like,
it's ridiculous. It's just, I mean, there's a point. There's only so much anyone can do, and there's a point. And then you do the ship 6, like the Titanic.
Yeah.
As my good friend Ajay Mehra called it. No.
Okay.
All right, guys, let's quickly get one more in.
Yeah, let's go.
The next one, the AMA question comes in from Amol Ashtaputre. He says, hi, Team Cyrus and Team Cock and Bull. I have been a loyal listener of the podcast for the past 2 years. Love your views, rants, and satirical take on the current events. My question to the panel is, you must have seen people taking tests on mobiles about removing Chinese apps from their phones.
Oh, God.
They are posting the results on social media now. What are your views on that? Does this really help? We already discussed this last week.
So, no, but there's a lot that's happening in that. There's a lot has happened since last week in this space, right?
Google has blocked that app, by the way.
All these celebrities, all these, especially the smaller ones who are trying to say, I'll give this up forever and China this and China that. If Vivo gives them a 25 crore contract, it'll all end in 5 minutes. So, frankly speaking, it's a global world, and this unglobalization, which people are coming up with, I won't mention names or point fingers at any powerful figures, I think is actually impractical, illogical. Amit has dwelled on it for 20 minutes. I do not want him to talk more, scare me. But the point is that you can't. When at the end of the day, if you look at Tiger Balm, and part of it comes from China, and part of it comes from Singapore, and part of it comes from Malaysia, and part of it comes from Canada, and then it's put together and it's packaged in some other country and then sold it mostly in India. I mean, that's the world. You can't do this. It's just China's too big a player. It's just not going to happen. They'll suspend them. America itself will do more business with China in 2021 than anybody else. It's all bull.
About the app particularly, right? That remove Chinese apps thing, right? Yeah. That got blocked by Google. And it's kind of, the thing is that what's so amazing is that you're right? I mean, like, this stuff is just so global in nature. Like ByteDance, which is TikTok's home dish, right? I mean, like, they have so many employees in India. And so we're saying that we don't want these people to be able to have jobs. I mean, like, it's kind of nuts.
People have to feel they're doing something. Like, my maid refused to take Ching's noodles from us. We are giving her a parcel.
But what's that? It's owned by Indians.
Yeah, Ching is Indian.
People don't get it.
Yeah,
to them, they're feeling very great by rejecting a Ching's noodle.
God, that's racism of the worst kind. I hate all this, really. Honestly, I don't understand it. I think the war should be fought on a Panipat battlefield and nothing else. We can't go on. This is nonsense.
All Chinese restaurants are pretty screwed, right? Like mainland China, China Valley, they all have China in the name.
But they're all owned by Indian people.
Yeah, but exactly. But people don't realize that. That's what I'm saying.
There are those owned by Indian Chinese. But Indian Chinese are Indian.
They're Indian.
That's right. 100% Indian, like you and me.
Yeah.
Even if they speak a little Mandarin or whatever.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
There was this tweet where this woman was like, don't eat noodles, eat samosa, be Indian. Samosa isn't Indian.
You should take the hardest noodle, no pun intended, and strangle her. And then force a samosa down all orifices. It's the most stupid thing anyone can say. Really stupid. And I bet you the longevity of this point, the longer we go, the more we'll need China, and China will need us, and America will need us, and Japan will need us, and we will need them. So what are we talking about, yeah?
So I was talking to a friend of mine in the pharmaceutical space. 80% of all active pharmaceutical ingredients, APIs what are called, right?
Exactly.
That are used in Indian pharmaceuticals that go throughout the country
China.
Are supplied by China.
And that's
so are we saying let's screw medicine over?
Therein lies the rub.
Oh.
So you say no, boycott them, their pharma companies, keep our pharma companies, but our pharma companies are propped up by their supplies.
Yeah.
So what the fuck? Transitive property reverse, it's a pointless point.
It is.
So call up the Home Ministry of both countries and let me chat with them.
There was the CRPF thing also, right, where they basically went full Swadeshi. So this is the CRPF canteen or their kind of stores made a thing where they removed like products from anything that had a tremendous amount or had a certain percentage of outside contribution. So they wound up removing products from companies like Dabur as well, right? Because apparently Dabur is not Indian enough. It's just it's
so stupid.
It's foolish, man. It's just crazy. I don't even understand. I don't understand the logic.
Sorry, my Alibag report just came in because 2 days we had there was no phone facility and only tree damage. Our house is still standing. We have no money at the moment, so I don't want another headache on my head.
That is true.
I'd have to take up a job as a hotel receptionist. I don't know what else to do.
I saw some Alibag videos, man. It was harsh over there.
You have no idea. My good friend Kunal Vijayekar has a chauffeur who's just outside Alibag's village. The entire village has lost all housing.
Oh, really?
He was crying tears. And I told Kunal he'll have to stay with you, but because of social distancing, that won't be possible.
Right.
But jokes apart, it's just, I don't want to see, the government has just got too much on its plate, so I don't know how to solve issues. I just want to go, press a button, go back to 2003 or something like that. When did India win the World Cup? 2011. So let's go to 11. 11 is good.
11 was a good time.
All right, fastest finger first. We'll see you soon. And just a piece of good news for those who are actually listening to our podcast and those who stayed with us this entire mile. I hope that the next week and the week after, we'll have happier things to talk about because, this has been a bit of a drain for everybody. But looking forward, Kajal is bringing us good luck. Okay. All right, guys. 7 o'clock, I'm live with Shashi Tharoor on, I don't know what.
We'll figure that out. We shall figure.
Watch is an interesting conversation, apparently. Bye-bye.
Later. See you, dude.
Bye, Kaj.
Bye, guys.
Okay, catch us on any of the podcasting apps, please. We beg you, we need you. Send us your questions on Twitter on Cyrus Says In, or you can email us, even if you're not female, on whatcyrussays@gmail.com.
How many times have you motivated yourself to improve your sleep, or lose weight, or be more productive? How many times have you failed? Hi, my name is Ashton Doctor. Tune into my show, The Habit Coach Podcast, where we focus on creating small, tiny habits to improve your life instead of those big, impossible tasks. So make listening to me a habit every Monday, Wednesday and Friday on the IVM Podcast app or ivmpodcast.com or on your favorite podcasting app.
Advertising is dead. Yep, you heard me right. Advertising is dead. We're all in the content business now. Let's not call it news, TV, radio, etc., etc. It's all content, and we're in the middle of this weirdly exciting phase where all the borders and lines that have been drawn over decades has been swept away by this lovely thing called the internet. We're a show where we don't dwell on just the stuff that is now, but rather the wider stuff about advertising, media, content, and the whole goddamn circus surrounding it. Tune in every Tuesday for our weekly unboxing of the mystery box we used to call advertising. I'm Varun Dugirala, co-founder and content chief at The Glitch, and this is my new podcast, Advertising is Dead.